Hey, what's going on, folks? Welcome back to the Real Legend of Gaming. We are here with Arena of Valor, and a new marksman has released. Tel'Annas is officially out, so we're going to explain her abilities, we're going to show you some gameplay, and we're going to show you a comparison of how she is versus Violet, Valheim, and Lindis, so you guys can get an idea of what marksman you would use going forward. Depending on your playstyle, there will be one that suits your best gaming need. Alright, so let's check it out. Alright, so Tel'Annas the Ageless is a marksman. She has an additional skin that's available called Lovesworn, and her first ultimate is called Arrow of Chaos. After charging for a short period, Tel'Annas combines the power of darkness and morning star and fires an arrow of chaos, dealing 300 physical damage. Enemies further away take more damage, up to 600 physical damage. Enemies along the arrow's path are knocked back and stunned. Tel'Annas gains 20% movement speed for 2 seconds. This is pretty crazy. So the further the enemy is, the more damage they take. So you're really testing out the range. And folks, I'm going to be real with you. Out of all the marksmen that I used in this comparison video, she has incredible range. And we're talking about some pretty good heroes that we're going to be featuring. Now, as far as her next ability, let's explain that. Alright, so the next ability is Penetrating Shot. Tel'Annas fires 3 arrows simultaneously, dealing 180 physical damage to enemies in their paths and reducing their movement speed by 30% for 2 seconds. The arrows lose 20% damage for each enemy hit, up to 40% damage loss. Then next up we have Eagle Eye. After learning this ability, Tel'Annas' normal attacks reduce the target's movement speed by 6%, stacks up to 5 times. After activating this ability, Tel'Annas' range significantly increases and her attack speed increases by 20% for 3 seconds. That is really fast. Also, her normal attacks are imbued with dark power and deal an additional 35 magic damage. While active, normal attacks place an additional stack of the movement speed reducing effect. So Eagle Eye is pretty good, especially if you want to reduce the target speed of your opponent and whoever's pushing with them. This will be really good combined with the other abilities. Now her passive is called the Morning Star. Tel'Annas' attack damage is increased by 10% when there are enemy allies nearby. Now, as far as a tip, Tel'Annas' Eagle Eye has a very long range, so use that to your advantage to keep the enemy from advancing, as well as kite them with the passive. When enemies are grouped together, use Arrow of Chaos at the right time to dish out tons of damage, knocking them back and stunning them. So that is an excellent tip, so be sure to get the enemies to go towards you closer so you can activate your passive ability, increase your attack damage, and hit them with the Arrows of Chaos. Pretty solid. So now let's show you some gameplay, folks. Okay, so as we usually do, we're doing a 1v1 versus Stain. We boosted up all the abilities to max so you can really see her in her perfect execution. Right off the back, you notice the attack speed is pretty solid. Attack damage, very strong. You see there, we're able to use the 3 projectiles at the same time, and watch how she locks onto the tower. Look at the range that she has. She's able to shoot from a pretty safe point and do damage to the tower at a very fast and quick and efficient pace. So again, we'll combo it up with the 3 arrow shots, and look, from her range, we are hitting the tower. So right off the back, just with that ability, being able to shoot from a distance and deal massive damage, I think that she is a beast. And granted, the 4 marksmen that we're going to show in this video, they're all very different. I must admit that. But as far as the range, the closest person could be Valheim, and she has a much better range. And her attack speed is almost as good as his. Now, as far as her abilities, her ultimate allows you to stun the opponents. So that will be, how you kind of crowd control for your team in some situations. But compared to like a Nidness, she doesn't have a skill where you can control the pace of the match. Where, Lindis has that round area that she can designate for the opponents to walk into and get damage done to them. So that's the difference there. As far as like Valheim's able to stun the enemy with that second ability. For Tel'Annas, you have to wait to unlock your ult. So, there's differences. Now, as far as attack damage though, I do think that Violet has a bigger attack damage only because she's able to designate that rocket blast and also even for the grenade blast as well. So she's doing a lot of high damage DPS attacks. But overall, I think Tel'Annas gives Violet a good run for her money, and I can totally see her being used in ranked matches as well. So now let's show you gameplay of Violet so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Alright, so here goes Violet. So right there you notice her attack damage is really good. Attack speed, super slow, but that's mainly attributed to the kind of weapon she has. She also has dual weapons, so it takes a little bit longer. But you see that her range is okay. I think out of the 4 heroes I mentioned, she might have the 3rd best range, but the attack damage is number 1 in my opinion. And quickly able to take out those minions. And right over here we'll aim in at Thane. We did a lot of damage and quickly able to do more. So that's really why I think Violet is so popular, because of the efficient high damage that she can deal out. Especially once you master the role and know how to exactly aim where you want to get the shot off, you should be fine. Now let's show you Valheim. Okay, so now we're going to use Valheim. And I'll be honest with you, I was a Valheim main when I first started the game, because look at that. Look at that attack speed. His attack speed is incredible. Damage is solid as well. I personally felt Valheim was the best marksman. But as I got higher in ranked matches and got exposed to other characters, I understood that, he's somebody to pick up in the beginning. And if you wanted to main him, it's not a bad thing. But once he gets hit with a counter, or the team focuses on stopping him, it becomes a little tougher to use him, because he's a bit limited to just attacks. He doesn't do really anything to control the flow of the match. He's really a high offense player, right? No defense really. So I guess that's why Valheim doesn't necessarily fit all team compositions, but the dude can do damage at a super quick pace. Let me check that out. Look at that. And his range is pretty solid. So as far as range, I think he has the 2nd best range. I'll give the range to Tel'Annas. Attack speed, he is number 1. And attack damage, we can argue number 2 or 3, right? Because him and Tel'Annas' damage is pretty similar. But I'm going to give the edge to her only because her range is further, so she can do more damage with one of her abilities if she hits the enemies that are further away. So that's a big game changer. Now here's Lindis. One might argue, why am I featuring her in this video and not Yorn? I figure she's pretty relevant right now because she just released, and there was a lot of hype before she came to the game. She was highly anticipated, and I actually think she's really good. She has that right there, that ability that once the opponents walk into it, you're going to be doing damage. It slows them down. And, she has that ability where you can see exactly where the opponents are. And her ultimate ability, by spawning those, I think it's like a ghost, it does a lot of damage. So I think Lindis is solid, but her attack speed is crazy slow. her character is pretty slow as well, so her movement speed is not fast, and her damage is okay. However, like I said in her hero spotlight, I think that she's a good hybrid combination of a mage and a marksman. So I think she has like good qualities that are similar to a mage, and she is still a good marksman. So she gives you the best of both worlds, and I think that she plays a better role on a team that has a good mage paired up, that has a good warrior, and you guys could like tread the jungle together, or you can control the lanes. Like, she's pretty good. So I do like her overall. And I think that if you're someone that isn't necessarily going to be focusing on offense all the time, and you want to be able to like to support a little bit from a distance, then she's a good character. All right, folks. So that's pretty much it. We were able to explain how to use Tel'Annas. We explained the abilities, and we went a little bit more in depth and deep dive with a comparison with 3 other marksmen. Now, what I'm also going to do for you folks is we're going to drop in the description or up in the corner on the card. We'll show you the other hero spotlights too, so that in the event that you wanted to get more information about the abilities for Lindis, you wanted to get some gameplay of Violet or gameplay of Valheim, you'll be able to do that as well and get, you know, additional comparisons to use. But other than that, I really appreciate you guys checking out the video. If you do appreciate this type of content where I'm doing the comparisons with the other heroes inside of the class, then slap that like button and drop a comment down below, and I'll continue to do this. I'm always looking for new ways to spicing up the videos and to give you folks quality content that adds value. So other than that, if you are watching this video still as well, then hit the subscribe button and check me out for more Arena, Valor, Clash Royale, and Battle Royale games. All right, folks? So other than that, peace out.